Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live Jerry Cherry Sunday, episode 74. And first of all, happy May 1st to you. And in today's video, we're going to learn music theory for beginner guitarists, intermediates, in this order: fretboard knowledge, chord construction, scales and modes, triads, inversions, and maybe some other stuff if we get to it. So, give you a round of applause for hanging out with me today. The Sunday 74th episode. Very proud of that. So, okay, so without any further ado, let's get into the lesson here today. Hopefully you're enjoying this beautiful Sunday, this weather that we're having out here. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is some fretboard knowledge. And basically, I'm just going to start on the first few strings. The 6th string and the 5th string. Okay, the 6th string is my E, open E. 5th string is the A. And the high E is the same as the low, only it's 2 octaves away. You have 1 octave and the high octave right here. Hello, Jamie Ross. Good to see you. Give you a little round of applause here for hanging out. So we're learning some good stuff here today, James. And first thing I'm just pointing out here is that we have on the 6th string and the 5th string, we're going to just play the natural notes. So if you have an open E, then you have F, G, A, B, C, D, and E. No sharps, no flats. And on the A string, you have the open A, then you have B, C, D, E, F, G, and A again. Now from the 12th fret up, it's exactly the same thing. It just repeats itself. So it's like having a whole separate guitar. You have 2 guitars built in one right here. And Jamie, here in the chats, he plays both of them at the same time, like with 2 hands right here. It's crazy. Puts Steve Vai to shame. So, all right. So good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. And, okay, so that's the first thing. So basically, if you know all those notes, you basically could build every chord off of that. So if you know the open E, you have an E chord. If you know the G is right here, you just play the same position, the same fingering, and you have a G chord. Or up to C, C. You see? And it's the same thing on the A string. You have an A, so you have this position. It's a little bit different fingering, but you have your A chord. Or if you want to play C, go to C. Or E. Or F. So basically, wherever you put your roots here is the beginning of your chord in these positions. Here's an F. Here's an F. It's just higher up on the fret. You have higher pitches to it. Different octaves. So, different octaves and stuff. And you could basically you could alter those chords if you wanted to. I mean, you could take the E, you can make it minor by just taking the 3rd in the chord and just taking your finger off here. Now you have an E minor. Or if you went to C major, you take your finger off here and made a minor 3rd. Minor. Or if you played this C up here, here's the 3rd. If you just go down a half step, minor. So wherever you know where you could play a major chord, you could play a minor chord by just altering the 3rd. So it's real simple. So now that you know where every chord is, and but if you wanted to play a flat or a sharp, like if someone said, hey, play an A flat chord, well, you just go to your A and just go down a half step. It's the same thing. Major chord, minor. A major, A minor. I mean, A flat. A flat major, A flat minor. Or D. You can go to D, D flat. Here's D. Just go down a half step. What if it's D sharp? We'll just go up a half step. Here's D, D sharp. Or if you're over here in D, you can go up a half step. It's all the same. All right. So if you're enjoying this video so far, smash the like button, hammer on the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, all that groovy stuff. Okay. So let's go on to something a little bit different. We're going to go into the chord construction and how they're built. I'm going to do this based on, in the key of E, you have the E major scale, right? Let's put on this camera so you can get a little closer up look of the guitar fretboard here. Everyone knows do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And I suggest you sing it just like that. So that's your major scale. Every one of those notes has a chord built to it. Here's your E chord. The second note has a minor chord. And you know that it's minor, just play the minor position. The third note is a minor chord. The fourth note is a major chord. The fifth note is a major chord. Sixth note is a minor chord. The seventh note is a half diminished. We'll get into that a little bit more later. And then back to the octave again. Hello, David Belcher. Good morning. And everyone in the chat, which would be my friend James Ross. So great to see you. I'll put a little, give you some applause right here. You deserve it. So I'm working on we're working on some important theory for beginning to intermediate guitar players. And players of all levels should, if they don't know this, they should go back and learn this stuff right here. So we did fretboard memorization, and we're doing the chords, the chord construction of a key. So basically you have 7 chords, 7 notes, 7 chords. E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, B, C sharp minor, D sharp, half diminished, and E. Hello, Tom G. So good to see you. Give you a round of applause. Now, what's great about these 7 chords is that they make up every key. So it's the same in any key. You have these 7 chords to work with. You can build songs from these progressions. You can make progressions out of it. You know, skip around. I started the 3rd chord. You go. Just kind of mix them up, mix them and match them. Start here. Or start here. So you have these 7 chords that you can work with. And basically every chord has the roots, the 5th, the root again, the 3rd, and the 5th. They're basically triads, which we'll get to in a minute. So even on the 2nd chord, you have the 5th. So it's made up, every one of these chords, these basic chords, is made up of the root, 5th, another octave, 3rd. That distinguishes whether it's major or minor. The 5th, perfect 5th, which all these chords have a perfect 5th, except for this one, the half diminished. That's what diminished means, basically, is that you're flattening a particular note, in this case, the 5th. Right? Get the difference between this? Gives it that really freaky, haunting sound. Freaky, haunting sound. But it's really not that haunting, because it leads right back to the happy 1 chord, the tonic. So every one of these chords has the tonic, the 5th, the minor 3rd, and that's it, because they're very basic chords. But you could use these in every key, which is really cool. And so basically, now that you know that, you can get into scales and modes, which basically is the same exact thing. So if you took this E chord, and you played the major scale, right? We already know those 7 chords is part of the major scale. Like all I'm doing is I'm harmonizing the major scale by playing these same chords. Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, si, la, sol, fa, re, do. So it's just the major scale. But the simplest way that I could describe the modes is that you're basically playing the same scale, but by changing the chord under it, it sounds completely different. Like watch this. I'm going to play just an E chord here. So I have an E looping, right? I'm going to play up the major scale right now. Just the same major scale. Okay, sounds normal, right? Like a major scale. So you can move around with that if you wanted to. And like I was saying, once you get to this 12th fret, it's a whole new guitar. Only I'm short of frets to go all the way up, but it's the same thing. Okay, so you have that, right? Now watch this. I'll stop that. I'll play the second chord, which is the 2 chord of this key. I'll just go like this. Okay. Okay. I'll play the same scale, but only I'll start on the second note. But I'm going to play the same exact note, scale. Listen how different it sounds. You know, I'll even play the whole scale, the whole E major scale with the open. Check it out. You can almost hear the E major scale in there. But it doesn't really stand out as clear as if I was playing the E chord. But do you hear how different it sounds? Because I'm playing an F sharp minor, I'm playing a minor chord here. And by playing those notes, it's accentuating this chord. So really what I'm doing here is I'm playing an F sharp Dorian. This is the Dorian mode. This is what it sounds like. But I'm basically just playing the E major scale. Now, one thing I would look at the distance between all these notes. Like when you're playing E, you can see the distance you have between the intervals. So when I'm playing the F sharp, the Dorian, like this, you are a major scale. What are you trying to say? I'm vanilla? So if you go in this Dorian, look what's different here. It's a minor third. That's why it's minor. You have the perfect fourth still. The fifth. Here's the sixth. This is really what makes this particular mode special, is that it has a major sixth with a minor note. No other chord is going to have that same feel. So whenever you want that sound, you know it's a Dorian sound, like this. The other natural minor would be more like this, which is a natural minor. But the Dorian has this major sixth. Now it's more of a lift, right? Well, it's all in the major scale here. It's all in E major scale. That's what gives it that sound. So I'm going to quickly get through the rest of these because there's 6 modes, and we want to spend all day on just these modes. But I'll play the 3 chord here, and it sounds like this. Okay, now watch. I'm playing the 3 chord, which is the G sharp minor. I'll play the major scale. Again, the same thing, E major scale. Listen how different this sounds. Different than the E major and different than the Dorian, but it's the same notes. Hear that? Or even on just this one string. Why is that? Because I'm emphasizing this 3rd note, which is making up a chord, E sharp minor. The first note up, or the next note in the E major scale, is a half step away. That's why it sounds very dissonant. Because I'm only playing a half step away, there's a lot of rub there between an A, these half steps. And it also has minor, because it's a minor chord, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, minor 6, which is the sad part of the minor chord, 7th, back to the root again. Okay. So, and on you go. I'll do one more here in the modes. So I played the 4 chord, which is the A major. Oops, don't want to do that. Got to erase that last loop. Okay. So we have, check this out. Just an A major chord. So I'll play the E major scale over this A major chord. Check it out. See how different that sounds? Watch when I start in the A. Notice anything about this? It's a Lydian mode. It's a major scale. Major 3rd. It has a sharp 4 in it. So it gives it that sound that's like a... So the 3rd and the 4th together sound really pretty. Like this. That's Lydian mode. Just the E major scale. All right, so that's a quick thing on just some modes. If you're enjoying this, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, David Belcher, super chat, $5. That is amazing. I'm loving this super chat. Thank you. So very, very cool of you. Hopefully you're enjoying this. So that's just a brief touch up on the major scale. I mean, there's modes to the what is it called? The melodic minor modes. the harmonic minor, there's double harmonic minor, and no, there's what else is there? There's the harmonic major and double harmonic major, which just goes way out there. And I've done videos on all 5 of these modes: the major scale, the melodic minor, harmonic major, and double harmonic major. It gets really crazy with some really weird sounding modes and scales. It's really, really far out there. But this is the basic scale, which is the major scale, and it has so many different sounds. As you can see, we only played 4 of the modes. You could, once we get into the Mixolydian, Aeolian, that's a whole other thing with just getting into continuing with the modes. But as you can see, they're very important. So I would learn that. Useful theory. You get the fretboard memorization, how to build chords, how to build modes and scales on top of those chords. And now we'll get into triads. Jamie Ross, super chat, $1.99. Thank you so much, my friend. Very, very cool of you. From the bottom of my heart. That is very awesome. And let me know what you guys are drinking out there today. I have the last 2 sips of my coffee that I made at about 8 o'clock this morning. It's so sad that it's almost gone. And it's actually good to the last drop. There's no grinds. Last week I was calling it grains. I rewatched the video of last week and I was calling it coffee grains. Okay, they're grinds. The belch. What is that? The belch. Oh, so you're drinking beer and it's making you belch? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I mean, when you're in Vegas, what happens there stays there. So, so we're playing some guitar. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day out. Hopefully, you guys are gonna have a really amazing day. It's early for James. We're out there on the left coast, and so we're having some fun playing guitar, enjoying this. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, and hopefully, you're getting some useful insight to this music theory here. Triads are cool too. It's basically the same thing. You have triads are basically just 3 notes: your roots, your third, and your fifth. Here it is in E. The root, the third, and the fifth. And that's on the E string set. If I played it on the A, which is the E, meaning 3 strings, E, A, and D, right? My root's on the E, my third's on the A, and my fifth is on the D. You could do it on the A string set too. Here's the E. Same triad. It sounds exactly the same, but I'm playing it in a different position. Now, if you skip to the D string set, like this, or down here. So it's all the same sound. So why have 3 positions? Well, that's just the way the guitar is built. But notice what's different here on the third string set that I used on the D, the G, and the B is that the fifth, right here on the B string, it's up a half step. As you can see, I'm 4 frets apart. 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. Check out on this camera view right here. Here's the fifth, this far apart. But over here, it's only 2 steps apart. Well, these are like 3 frets apart, right? Right there. Here's only 2 now. Why is that? That's because the B string is flat a half step as opposed to the rest of them. The guitar's tuned in fourths, except for the B, it's tuned a third away from the G string. Okay, so because of that, you're actually raising the note up 1 so that it's a fifth again. Pretty basic right there. Okay, and then on the next string set, which is the G, you have your E right here, third. It's the same problem that you have because the third is because the B string's down a half step, you have to compensate for that, so I'm going up. So now between the third and the root, you're more of a parallel. Like down here, here's the root, and the third. But here, instead of here, it would be minor. So I have to go up to make it major. So there's your E major triads right there. On the A string set, D string set, G string set. OJ, the Belcher. You're in New York City? Oh, awesome. All right. I thought I saw something about you in New York. I didn't know that was brand new. Very, very cool. Look out, New York City. Jamie Ross is on the loose. And you're in Oregon. Okay, so you guys are, Dave's back there. He's on the left coast right now. All right. I love Oregon. I think I told you once before that I was in Lincoln City, Oregon, right on the water, and it was just so beautiful. It was one of the most peaceful, tranquil places I've ever been to. Just beautiful. The roar of the North Pacific Ocean, from the Pacific Northwest, basically. It's just ferocious. I mean, I grew up here on the East Coast in Fort Lauderdale, right off the beach in Fort Lauderdale, and it's just a different vibe. So, okay. So now the good thing about these triads, though, it doesn't really stop there. You know, you have your 2 chord, your 3 chord, your 4 chord, just like you have all these chords. So here's your E, right? You have your F sharp, your 2 chord, your 3 chord, your 4, 5, 6, 7, which is half diminished. And what's really great about this is that it really helps you memorize your intervals. Duh. So when you see these triads, I mean, you know that where your thirds and your fifths are. Same thing here with the 3 chord. It's all the same. It just depends on if it's major or minor. Like here's major, your major shape, A major triad, B major triad. If it was here, it's just minor, so I'm dropping to my minor third. So I'm seeing that this is the way a minor chord looks, a minor triad. It's always going to be 2 frets apart, 1 string up, 2 frets apart. Your fifth's always going to be there. Here's a fifth, but on the next string, it's right there. So I could see it. So if I was back up here by my E, sorry, this guitar is terrible. Just kidding. Keeps popping off my fretboard here. If I see my half diminished, look, my fifth is. So I know that by looking at that, that's a flat 5 in this position. Minor third. Here's a regular fifth, right? Here's a diminished fifth. Okay, so that's the great thing about inversions, and just learn them. Just go up the chords, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and do them on all different string sets. Here's the E, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Leads to arpeggios, which would be next, and I would just do them on all different string sets up here. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Here's that compensating for that flat 5 again. 7th, and on the final string set, the 4th string set on the G string. Okay. Learn all those triads in every key by tomorrow. There's homework. Okay, so the final thing we're going to do today is some inversions, and it's basically almost the same thing as the as these triads. Hopefully you're enjoying this. You're getting something out of this, because this is like some fundamental guitar stuff that we all should know, and I need to even know it myself and go back and practice this stuff. About an hour from the coast. Ah, very cool. Very, very cool. Is that like in the Portland area? You say I don't know much about Oregon. So, but very cool. It's beautiful. I'm sure it's beautiful today. Or is it rainy like it always is over there? Let's see. So, inversions. Basically, what an inversion is, say you have this E triad right here on the A string. You have the root, the third, and the fifth. All an inversion is you're inverting those notes. So instead of starting with the root, the third, fifth, I'm going to start with the third. I'm going to just move it on down the line. I'm going to go 3, 5, back to the root. So what I'll do is I'll play, here's the third, the fifth, and the root. So that's what they call a first inversion. You hear this riff all the time. People are playing an E. That's basically just a first inversion because they're taking the E chord and they're sliding up to, here's the third, and the third is on the bottom now. And then you have the fifth, and here's the root. And that's that sound. Here's the regular chord, and here's the inversion. The third, the fifth. Now, a second inversion would be, guess, starting on the fifth to the root to the third. And like you've seen these chords all the time. Here it is right here, the fifth, the third. Nope, the fifth, the root, the third. So it's the same three notes, you're just kind of revolving them. It's kind of like they're just kind of looping round and round. Like here's the 1, the 3, the 5. Now you have the 3, the 5, the 1. Then you have the 5, the 1, and the 3. These are the same three notes. And they have different sounds, different purposes. I mean, they sound completely different. Like, I know this is just part of an E chord, but if you hit the E chord full, like this, there may be times where you don't want to hit the full E chord. You might want to just go starting on this fifth note. The bass may be just chugging it out. You could just go. If you want to really emphasize this note, or the third, right up here. And I would learn them on all the different string sets as well. Right here. There it is, right there. Okay. On the D string set, it's a little bit different because once you have that B string again, here's the first inversion. See how it looks a little bit different? This note right here is a half step higher because of the B string being flat. And you've seen these chords. You've seen this. This is the top end of this E chord. Just playing the fifth. I'm sure some Kiss fans have seen that a million times where, you know, they're playing off of this chord. You know. So that's the second inversion. In that position, you have the root. First inversion. Second inversion. Back to the top again. Now finally, on the fourth string set, here's your E right here. First inversion. It's just the top of this chord that you've seen a million times. Right up here. That's first inversion, starting on the third. Fifth. The root. Now starting on the fifth. Root. Third. Looks like a D chord. It's kind of part of the cage system too, which is a whole nother thing that's really cool. We'll do that another time. So you have these inversions, your E, E, first inversion, second inversion. It's cool because if you really want to alter these chords, you know, say, you know, you're playing an E, went to that chord right there. Say you want to sharp the fifth note. You went. You're already starting here on the fifth, but you're low. It's a pretty cool sound, right? You could do it up here too if you want to. Different sound though. You could do it up here too. First inversion. If you want it on the bottom of the chord. That's what's good about the inversions, is you could place the notes, but anywhere. You could start with the note, you put it in the middle of the chord. You know, if you wanted a flat 5 on here, what would you do? You just take the 5 and just drop it. Or if it was over here, you drop it here. If it was up here. You know. So, and once again, you could take all of the chords of the seven chords of the major scale and just invert them. You know, the 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord. And of course, you can get more detailed. You could play 7th chords and it just goes on and on. But keep it basic, which is what we're doing today. And that's it. If you guys got any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. Jamie Ross is a big Kiss fan. Who isn't? Right? I mean, come on. Ace Frehley was my first guitar hero. I remember being 6, 7 years old, seeing Kiss. A friend that I had that lived down the street had, like, he was in the Kiss army because they had all these pictures and posters, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I had nothing. And I used to go to his house, and he'd have, like, all the cool posters. They would open them up, and it would just see, like, Peter Criss and Ace Frehley and all these guys just look so cool, especially when you're 6, 7 years old, you know. And they're still awesome. And had a chance to see them at the West Palm Beach Auditorium in 1982 for the Creatures of the Night tour. And I think I told you a story where I threw my Ace Frehley doll at Vinnie Vincent because I was expecting to see Ace Frehley. They did the reunion tour in 96. I couldn't go to that because the one thing that could possibly stop me from going to see Kiss would be the problem that I had, something with my ear. Sounds were really, really painful, like any loud noises, and I couldn't go to the concert. But I got that fixed, and so I finally got to see them on another tour, like their farewell tour. I think it was 2000, and it was like I was 6 years old again. Seeing all 4 of them with their makeup on just felt like I was 7, and it just hearing them together play is just an amazing experience. The 4 of those guys, it'll never be the same without those 4. So when I hear that there's talks of maybe Ace rejoining him for the final farewell tour. I don't know, maybe James knows a little bit more about that than I do. So all right, well, thanks guys for hanging out with me and spending some time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and You guys are just amazing. I also do a live on Thursday nights. Come check me out live Thursday on Facebook at 7:30 at Facebook/Jerry Cherry, where I play original songs and covers, and it's a good time out there. It's not music theory. It's more just playing some music. So check that out. And what else was I going to say here? Facebook. Check out my latest video on the circle of fifths, which is cool. I'll put a card up here, a link in the description. Check that out. Always making different videos and stuff. And that's it for today. You should call it the nail in the coffin tour. Yeah, that's great. For sure. The nail in the coffin tour. Imagine that. Thank you. Thank you, Tom G, for hanging out. Very, very cool of you. Thank you, Tom and David and Jamie. Awesome of you guys to hang out here in the chats. We go live every Sunday at 1 o'clock. If there's anything that you want me to go over for next week, any theory stuff, please let me know. I got this idea from a viewer named Taylor who found me when I did the Jeff Beck video, Because We've Ended as Lovers. I did a cover and a tutorial on how to play that, which is a great song. And just asked me about, like, hey, what could you tell me about learning music theory and in what particular order? So hopefully you'll watch this a little bit later on, Taylor, if you haven't already. And but if you have any ideas for music theory lessons or any guitar solos or anything, any songs, let me know in the comment section, and I'd love to do it next week or in future weeks. So remember, be cool, be kind, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the super chats too. And be cherry. Love yous. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Peace, guys. Thank you for hanging out. You're the best.